Hi there, my name is Trolls, and in this video we're going to take a deep comprehensive look at our 8DO Hybrid Drums 8D8 Specialized kits. We actually have 4 different core banks of specialized kits. We have one here with ambient kits, we have another one here with minimalistic pop-like kits. Then we have an additional one with really new generation dubstep kits. Dubstep has really changed a lot the last couple of years. So set of kits here for dubstep now and dubstep into the future. And then we also have an additional cinematic kits that I'll also demonstrate in this video. I should also mention that we have 2 other videos where I'm demonstrating our EDM Legacy kits. Really great for any style of EDM you're into. And then finally, we have a video demonstrating our new cinematic epic percussion, which is really setting a whole new standard for what super epic hybrid percussion can sound like. And just check it out. It's so beefy. But as I mentioned, in this video, we're going to be focusing on our ambient, minimalistic, dubstep, and cinematic specialized kits. And before we get into it all, let me just show a little bit about the interface here. Obviously, when you load the library, it starts like this in a beautiful 3D rendered condition. And you go into the module here. And within the module, you have attack, release, you have speed, and you've got pitch and envelope. You got glide and offset. Offset is awesome if you want to go into the sample and sort of chop a little bit of the attack off here. We also have a randomizer. We got reverse, chaos, and then we also have our beautiful chaos effects down here. And you can really do a lot with those as well. In addition, we have a step-based sequencer where you can program your own beats here. So if you ever need some help with information, you can also click up here and get it going. But that's just me talking. It's much more fun to listen to the library than to listen to me. So why don't we just get started? I've prepared a little bit of a sequence that I'll just start out with. I'll try a couple of different kits on it so you can sort of get a feeling for the ambient kits. And then I'm going to go through a variety of the ambient kits more solo afterwards so we can really go and listen to the depth of them. But let me just play a little piece here and just switch the kit in real time. So just pay close attention to the kits and how they're changing just to get a little bit of feeling of what an ambient kit is. So one of the unique aspects about our ambient kits here is that they're very defined in their sound, very short sounding and very precise. That sits super well in the mix in terms of sort of sticking out, but yet sitting in the mix. There's nothing super hissy in here. They're all sort of softer sounding and they can be used in a wealth of different ways. As you can see here, I've preloaded a bunch of different kits and I'll actually just do a real-time demonstration here, playing through a variety of the ambient kits here in real time so you can just get a feeling for how diverse they actually are, because it's not just for ambient music. They can really be used for EDM, pop, dance, all that stuff. But let me show you. And let me show you a neat trick here using the pitch envelope. Let me play the same groove again here and then play around with the pitch envelope. You can really do a lot of cool things in terms of sort of bending the sound. Isn't it neat? And if you ever want to control these guys not with your mouse but with your controller, you just right click on them and you assign them to your CC, and there you go. It's super easy to use, and stuff like the pitch envelope, for example, here, it's super easy to use. And you can also see I've used the offset where I go into the sample. Really just neat and fun to just mangle the kits around, try to make them your own. Let's listen to this next guy here. All right, let me show you another cool trick here. If you click the stack button here, you can actually combine all the different kits that you want. I have no idea what this is gonna sound like, but let's just try a couple of different combinations here and listen to the groove again. All right, let me just mess it up a little more here by adding the chaos effects here as well. I'll do that in real time as well, so you can see what's going on. So yeah, you can mess up things really quickly in this one. Let's move on here to the minimal kits. And don't be fooled by the terminology minimal. The reason we call them minimal is that they're very tight sounding, but the best way to describe them is probably up the alley of Diplo, Skrillex, some of the later Justin Bieber stuff, that kind of sound. Check them out. And it's funny with a kit like this, there's so many different ways you can play it. Let me just try something a little bit different here, just in real time. You know, it's the same kit. And again, once you start manipulating things down here, you can do a lot. Let me actually demonstrate the offset button here as well. What happens when you use it. You can sort of dial your way into the sample. So imagine that the further you go up here, the further you go into the sample. So you don't have the initial attack, but you got some other properties of the sample. Let me just show you. And if you ever want to reverse any of the sound, just click here, and all of a sudden we are in reverse. All right, check this new kit here. This is like, for me, it's the perfect sounding kit. Really, really snappy, funky, tight. Can be used for many, many different styles, but it had that bloop kind of snare to it. Like, love it. That's just nice. Let me play it one more time here, but this time around I'm gonna mess with the pitch envelope here. It really takes the 808 quite well. Let me show you. I mean, I say Diplo, Zedd, that kind of stuff, but this could be straight up hip hop as well. And again, these are just the most contemporary snares you're gonna find for EDM, like the perfect. Love them because they're so tight and they sit so well in the mix. One of the things about kits that people don't talk about so often is that it's not just the bass drum, snare drum, hi-hats, and cymbals. It's really the right sounds and polishing them so they really work. And when you listen to these kits, everything is designed to work within the kit. It's not randomly scattered elements. Each kit is handcrafted, so the hi-hats sit really well with the mix for the bass drum, the snare, all that stuff. So nothing is sticking out, and when it sticks out in the right way. So drum sampling is one of those things that can be easy to sort of ridicule and simplify, but when you really get into it, there's a lot of crafting going on underneath the hood, and these samples here are little diamonds polished to perfection. Aren't they wicked? I just love them. And speaking of little gems polished to perfection, check these out. These are our new standard of dubstep kits. They're absolutely designed for the future, not the past. They're very, very clear in the punchiness. Dubstep and trap has changed a lot over the last couple of years. Things are more defined. They're not as rumbly in the basses. They're more clear, pointy, spicy sometimes. But it's easier for me to show you than talk about it. Isn't it cool how each kit has its own identity? For me, one of the things, and this is one of the reasons it's been taking a long time to create this library, is that each of the kit needed some personality and identity. It's not just like some kind of random drum kit. These are really kits with personality. They're shaped, EQ, transient, whatever it is that we use to create these bangs with a sort of independent way of looking at each kit. So they all have personality inside of them. Really, really important. And another aspect, and you can probably hear this in this video here, is that if I was just to play traditional EDM with the minimalistic and ambient kits, it would be a little bit boring. So I'm just playing freely a variety of different styles. Even here with the dubstep kits, it can be many, many different styles. You don't have to use them for dubstep or trap. They can be used for a variety of different things: pop, dance, electronica in general, so many different things. So let me play a few more kits here. So yes, and these are just a fraction of the kits, and even just the dubstep kits here. I only went through a couple of them. And even in our 200 kit EDM Legacy catalog, that's also part of the library, you're gonna find plenty of other dubstep kits as well. So just to give you an example, like there's so many kits within each style of music. And the way I would approach is that I wouldn't say, okay, this is an Electro House kit, or this is progressive house, or this is a dedicated deep house kit. Again, there's so much similarity, and EDM is such a cross-bleeding field of music that you can use them for anything you want. And speaking of diversity, let me also show you our cinematic rock kits here. These are more traditional drum kits, but they also have EDM elements, and they're great for cinematic type of music, but also for more rock. So they're a little more on the heavier side of things. And that filter effect is super simple. All the patches comes with filter on the mod wheel. And check out this next bad boy, super, super heavy. And even though these kits are heavier and more rocky, you can also use them for like more heavy kind of hip hop, really deep stuff. So where you saw these bangs over here with the ambient and minimalistic and the dubstep being somewhat tighter, this one is a little more dark, fat, rotten, if you will, sometimes. But you can do some really cool hip hop stuff as well, just like this. And with that, my friend, it's time to conclude this chapter of another video for our 8DO Hybrid Drums 8D8. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we have 2 other videos, one demonstrating 50 different kits from our legacy EDM banks, and then we have an additional video demonstrating our cinematic percussion, which completely sets a new standard for what cinematic percussion should sound like. So I highly encourage you to check both of those out. There's an enormous amount of content in this library, so we're just scratching the very, very surface here. But I hope this video has given a little bit of an insight into what you can do and how diverse and wide it actually is, and deep as well. And that was just using our specialized ambient, minimalistic, dubstep, and cinematic kit here as well. So this is Troels from 8DO signing out. Hope to see you in the next videos.